here's everybody that I had things made up. So if they don't stay here and sign, I'm putting. So, and you.
I'll have them.
Yes, after they all take the.
Welcome to the City of Easton conference room. You will now be connected to the conference call. Thank you. Please enter the conference PIN number.
Speaking of smart guys, huh? All right, Chief. Captain. Dave, here. Probably somebody took the master plumbing exam.
Hello. Hello. We'll be starting shortly.
I think this may be Dave D'Alessandro's.
Okay. David.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Yeah, how you doing?
Oh, no. Just met your son today.
What's that?
Met your son today.
Okay. How did that go?
It's great.
Yeah. How hot
Hello,
was it?
Brant. How you doing?
90
What's going on, Jeremy?
There. It's probably like 85. We have a little fast.
This morning. Bad.
That's a good thing.
What?
A couple hours that were running
Yes.
around.
Yeah. It's good, you know, the kids get tired out, you know. Send them home, parents probably happy. Exactly.
Brief pause.
What's up there, man? How you doing?
Yeah, he sprained his ankle in summer league. He sprained it like on Monday when we messed
Oh, I
up.
forgot my phone.
Summer's almost over.
Download your brain into a computer. You won't be ready.
There'll be a lot of trouble.
It was our
No.
last day.
Too.
But I'm here till 9. I think when we get back to 29, we'll start.
What do you got going on, Matt?
Start doing
Is that your little dongle?
Nope, they told me today.
Little dongle? Are you allowed to start dongle? The dongle.
I see a lot of young people. Okay, I see.
Didn't hear that from me.
Hear what? He's gonna serenade. Certain interpretation.
Nope.
No, they
The mayor told me.
So we'll do like, probably do like some running
you
tests and
couldn't,
stuff
you couldn't get to our
just to make sure, you know,
Totally slacked off.
No,
Yes.
they won't get on Wi-Fi.
the 10 days that they're gone. Going.
It's like you moved to it worked. So you guys have been back there, like you guys have been.
It's like the old days with the rabbit ear antennas. No.
The goal was they started having all of us take like summer classes or
Is that what the circle was
playing
supposed to look like?
council class. They're like, yeah, take a
Did you
class
go over and
you can
look where they
figure
put the monuments? They did a nice job with that.
So it was nice. Like,
They moved them.
7 here
So-
the whole time and then come in.
They just asked me where they wanted ours.
So it
So I was
worked
like,
out well.
so they put mine in one spot, they put yours in the opposite spot. But I told them, well, there's flagpoles, so they have
you're
it
out.
centered between the two outside flagpoles. So we got one side, you got the
Did you
other
tell
side.
me? Are you thinking of Bradsville? Or
It's really nice.
So I don't know what
They went from
yeah,
the South Third
talk
Street
to-
side, now they're on the east campus. So they just went quarter turn.
So this year I'll
Dave and Peter, are you on?
I'm on. This is David.
David's
I'm
on.
Mayor.
Peter's on.
Peter's on? Okay.
I'm on, Mayor.
All right, so, thank you, Peter. So we've got Peter and David on the phone.
It's like being excited.
Mazda did his job. Both are on there, both are connected.
It'll be interesting.
Going to call the stated session of City Council to order. Please rise for the invocation, followed by the pledge of the flag. As we gather here this evening, we ask for wisdom as we make the tough decisions in this meeting. Help us to be innovative as we brainstorm our solutions. Help us to wisely evaluate our options considering the pros and cons. Help us to be unified in making the best decisions to effectively carry them out. And please keep our new police officers and firefighters safe as they perform their duties protecting our residents. We also thank you for bringing Grant Kingsley and some of his youth to share the success of their Pedal for Peace program they started in New York, PA for our bicyclists. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Mr. Ettinger?
Here.
Mr. Milan?
Here.
Mr. O'Connell?
Here.
Dr. Ruggles? Mrs. Sultana? Mayor Panto?
Here. With the two that we have on the phone, we have a quorum.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Agenda.
Approval of the agenda.
Was approved.
Move to approve.
Second.
I'd like to amend the agenda by removing the resolution approving the agreement with Ames LLC from the consent agenda. It's not ready for adoption tonight.
I need a second.
One second.
Second, all those in favor, roll call, Madam Clerk.
This is to amend the agenda. Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Panto?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mayor Panto.
That's okay. I was Mr. long before I was mayor.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mr. Milan?
Aye.
And Mr. Ettinger?
Aye.
And then the vote to approve the amended agenda, which would be Mr. Ettinger,
Aye.
Mr. Milan,
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell,
Aye.
Mayor Panto,
Aye.
and Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Thank you. At this time, we will have the action on our minutes of our July 27th meeting.
Move to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
And there's a second. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Mr. Milan,
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell,
Aye.
Mayor Panto,
Aye.
Mr. Brown,
Aye.
Mr. Ettinger.
Aye.
At this time, I'll turn the meeting over to Chief Scalzo for the swearing in of our police officer, followed by our seven
Mayor.
firefighters.
Mayor.
Go ahead.
Mayor.
Go ahead, David.
I believe Councilwoman Sultana is trying to call in.
Oh, okay.
There's a number that she has to call. Do you have it, Madison?
9.
I don't have her cell phone, though, to reach out to her. Do you have that number?
Can't we go in?
She didn't tell me. Sorry.
Yeah, when we have more than one, we have to call in to a conference line. So she needs that number. Chief Scalzo, we'll take care of that, David. Thank you for that, Councilman.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Chief Carl Scalzo, City of Easton Police Department, 48 North 4th Street. Tonight, we are going to be swearing in our newest officer with the Easton Police Department. Like I say every year, becoming a police officer is not something that one takes lightly or one goes into the profession lightly. There's a lot of trials and tribulations that goes along with this career. It's a very humbling and a very rewarding career, but it's one, obviously, where we know we put ourselves in harm's way very frequently and are willing to pay that ultimate price if need to for the protection of the citizens or for fellow officers as we go out there on patrol in the city. Tonight, our newest officer is Officer Avery Gordon. I'd ask you to step forward here, Avery. Avery Gordon Officer Gordon has actually already graduated the academy. We've actually hired 4 new officers. Avery's the first one because he has the Academy Act 120 certification, be getting sworn in. He's already spent a month with us in-house training and will be going out on the road at field training starting later this week. So he should be out on his own sometime here in the next 3 months or so after 2 stints, 6 weeks each of field training with officers. It's an extensive process. Obviously, the academy is very challenging as well as the field training process. I will say, and I say this every time as well, just getting to this point with the Easton Police Department is something that Officer Gordon should be very proud of, his family should be very proud of. It's not an easy task at all. We are very stringent when it comes to our background investigation, and to get to this level is something that takes a lot of effort, not only once you make the decision to be a police officer, but you've really had to have lived a very good life, a very respectable life to be able to join our ranks and become an Easton police officer. So it's something, obviously, we're proud to have him here, and something he should be very proud of as he begins his career, and obviously, as we hope for him, a very long, healthy, and productive career with the city of Easton. So I just ask that you would step forward here.
I already performed this, but you have to do it again. This is done for your family and friends and everyone who's here tonight. I, Avery Gordon, please raise your hand. I, Avery Gordon, do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth. And that I will enforce the laws of this Commonwealth and the ordinances of Easton. And I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity. I do further swear that I will uphold, obey, and enforce the law without consideration of a person's race, color, sex, religious creed, sexual orientation, age, national origin, ancestry, handicap, or disability. I do further swear that I do not advocate, nor am I knowingly a member of any organization that advocates the overthrow of the government of the United States of America or of this Commonwealth. By force or violence, I will not deny other persons their rights under the Constitution of the United States and of this Commonwealth. Sorry, I'm swearing in. I do further swear that I will not so advocate, nor will I knowingly become a member of such organization during the period that I'm an officer in the city of Easton. Congratulations. Me? No, I'm not good. I just want to thank the family and friends of Avery. He joins a really professional department. I'm very proud of our Easton Police Department, and the men and women who serve in that department. They are very professional. They bring a lot of pride, and a lot of times myself or the city council gets credit for the resurgence that's taking place in the city. But as I said in 2007, and I'll say it again, it's all about clean and safe. If you have a safe city, people want to move in, they want to come down, they want to dine, they want to entertain themselves, and they want to go to shop. But if you don't have a safe city, they're not coming here. So it's the police department and our firefighters that we'll be announcing in a few minutes who really make this place safe. So thank you very much for joining us, Avery. Look forward to it. Anyone else?
Congratulations, Evan. Welcome to the family. We look forward to seeing you and wish you the best in your endeavor and this new career.
And I would like to congratulate you and welcome you. And you talk about training. You've come to the right place because these guys really do it right. Stay safe out there.
Thank you. Anyone on the Councilman O'Connell?
Yeah, I just want to say have a long and successful career, and thanks very much for joining the force.
Councilman Milan?
Thank you, Mayor. Officer Gordon, thank you for selecting Easton as your department for your career, and we wish you the best, and hopefully you will continue to keep our city clean and safe.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This time I'll call up Chief Hennings of our fire department. It's not usual for us to be able to introduce and swear in 7. When I attended the graduation, there were 14 candidates, 7 from Allentown, which is expected with the largest city in the valley, and also 7 from the city of Easton, none from Bethlehem. So I was very proud of that. Chief Hennings?
Yes, Mayor. We have our 7 new recruits that are now staffing our platoons, and we have 3 from the last class that we missed because of COVID. So if we could have everyone come up, please. We do have 2 that are still out on a call.
Oh, they're out on the call.
Yeah,
I did hear them leave.
unfortunately.
On their way back? Okay.
Up here, fellas.
Come on up. You're going to have to just sort of push yourselves around or form around the microphone there so our two council members who are on the phone can hear us. I didn't realize, I forgot they couldn't hear us. Okay? Sounds good. You guys want to come up here and slide? Sorry, just put up some microphones so they can hear you. Okay, please raise your right hand. The gentlemen who are going to be sworn in tonight are Michael Losi, Michael Peloso, Matthew Sands, Kevin Skiba, Joshua Brown, Christopher Rossetti, Christopher Overpeck, David Abel, Michael DiNardo, Tyler Widener, and Neil Bennett. Okay, I state your name. Raise your right hand. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth. I do further swear that I will discharge the duties as a firefighter with fidelity. I do further swear that I will uphold, obey, and implement all the policies and procedures without a person's consideration to their race, color, sex, religious creed, sexual orientation, age, national origin, ancestry, handicap, or disability. I do further swear that I do not advocate, nor am I knowingly a member of any organization that advocates the overthrow of the government of the United States of America or of this Commonwealth. Nor will I deny any person their rights under the Constitution of the United States or of this Commonwealth. I do further swear that I will not so advocate, nor will I knowingly become a member of such organization during the period that I'm a firefighter for the city of Easton. Congratulations, gentlemen. Just go right on down the line, guys. First one here is Neil Bennett. Even though you announced you last, you're the first one on the list.
Here, guys. Just... That's it. You got it.
Got a call early. That's right now.
Yeah. What do you mean? That's the one. that's it.
Top of the line pick. Yeah, right there. This one yours?
You can sign them next. Take them with you. Put them. Thank you, guys. Take care. I would like to just say a few things about the firefighters that joined our department. I'm very proud of the fact that Easton has a professional fire department. We don't rely on volunteers. We rely on professionals. And as a resident of the city, that's really important to me and my family. Our firefighters are very dedicated to saving lives first and then property. And the lives that they save first are a lot, believe me. They show up on the scene within a couple minutes, and they're evacuating, making sure that all the residents are out first, all the kids, even pets. And then they go in and fight the fire. And we're trying to give them the best equipment that we can. state-of-the-art Lunar. I was just watching the video that we did. I saw the video, and we just ordered a tiller truck for $1.7 million, and we have a pumper that's already ordered, so it's on its way. And the two pumpers that we bought this year, the two guys are here?
Yes, they're now here.
Okay, let's swear them in now. Come on up, gentlemen. They're just returning from a fire call.
Kevin.
All right, raise your right hand. You can look at your family and friends. You don't want to look at me. You won't last that long. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth. And I will enforce the policy and procedures of the Commonwealth and the ordinances of Easton, and discharge the duties as a firefighter with fidelity. I do further swear that I will implement all policies and procedures without consideration of a person's race, color, sex, religious creed, sexual orientation, age, national origin, ancestry, handicap, or disability. I further swear that I do not advocate, nor am I knowingly a member of any organization that advocates the overthrow of the government of the United States or of this Commonwealth, nor will I deny any person their rights under those constitutions. I do further swear that I will not so advocate, nor will I knowingly become a member of any such organization during the period that I'm a firefighter of the city of Easton. Congratulations, gentlemen. Still there.
But I saw the email. Okay.
Yeah, Ronnie's truck. No, yeah, Ronnie's truck. Yeah. Okay. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this evening, and for the firefighters who came out to support the new recruits, thank you very much. Appreciate your service. Just so you know, this is becoming more and more a family affair. We have two firefighters who were former employees of the city of Easton in other departments, and they rose to that occasion. Our good friend was back there, Nick was a police officer, and Neil was a code enforcement officer. But for all of you, thank you very much. To our new recruits, thank you, and have a great day and be safe. And
Well, Mayor, there's a test in the back there. You guys will go back. Just kidding.
And family and friends who came to witness this oath taking and swearing in, you may leave. You don't have to stay for the whole meeting. Okay. He's wearing his hair short now.
Good to see you.
Take care, Neil.
Hi, Howard. Nice to see you too. Thank you.
At this point of our meeting, we're at public comment on agenda items only. Those that have any agenda items they'd like to speak to can come forward, state your name, address, and you have 5 minutes. And seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda as amended.
Okay, we had bill number 16 that was introduced, which would amend chapter 410, Peace and Good of the Order of the Code of the City of Easton. We had bill number 17 that was also introduced previously, amending sections of chapter 39, Council Rules and Regulations. We have Bill number 18 that was introduced, amending Chapter 296 fireworks. And Bill number 19, which was also introduced previously, amending Chapter 560, Vehicles and Traffic Code of the City of Easton, and that was for street cleaning.
Move to consent.
Moved
Second.
and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Ettinger?
Aye.
Mr. Milan?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mrs. Sultana?
Aye.
Mayor Panto?
Aye. There are no reports received by council this month, so I will go to reports of committees. Finance Committee, Councilmember Brown.
Mayor, I have no report this evening.
Economic Development Committee, Councilman O'Connell.
No report, Mayor.
Planning and Codes Committee, Councilmember Sultana.
I just want to update on, I spoke to Kanisha, the owner of the pudding bar, and we are planning to meet on August 23rd, if you all are available. So I'll be sending out the information soon. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, what date?
August 23rd.
Thank you.
Public Safety Committee, Councilman Ruggles is on vacation. Public Works Committee, Councilman Ettinger.
I have no report tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Administration Committee, Councilmember Milan.
No report, Mayor.
Report of the Solicitor, I was going to say Mr. Shear, but you're not Mr. Shear. Jeremy, Mr. Clark. No, not at all. Not at all.
I'm just like Joel. I can't get the microphone to work. Just to advise council on the new business. There is a settlement agreement that council's made aware of at an executive session previously. That just formalizes the agreement and will end that litigation between the person who fell at the Easton Farmers Market and they pulled the city involved. But that's what that case is about.
Thank you. Report of the mayor. I just want to mention that I will be at the White House on Monday attending President Biden's climate conference. The bike update will be given by a presentation by Mr. Campos later. I did join the Lenny Lenape sojourn today down on the Delaware at Scott Park. They were here long before any of us. The Lenny Lenape were here for several thousand years, and to see them come back to their roots is really important. Scott Park was the scene of many of their treaties with other tribes. Most of the treaties that we held with the settlers was in the circle, but prior to that, they all transported by canoe, so they met there at the forks of the Delaware. Attended the Lebanese Festival on Saturday and Sunday. Without a doubt, the best ethnic festival this side of the Mississippi. I thank the Lebanese community for not forgetting about where they started and where they came from, because most of them don't live in the city anymore, but they still come back to their church and they have their festival every year. I met yesterday with a group from Lepoco. They asked me about Mayors for Peace, just to let the public know that A, I am a member of Mayors for Peace, and B, so is the city. The city became a member for Mayors for Peace before I got here, and I've been a member of the Mayors for Peace since 2008. The Pride Festival is this Sunday afternoon from 12 to 8, so hopefully you can get down there. The Circle Project, the only thing I would advise you is that it is way behind schedule, as we all know. I don't have to tell you that, but we went up today and looked at the monument and made a change order to do the entire monument, not just the lower half. If you look at it, it's been power washed. It looks really good.
It does look good.
Yeah, it does. Also, I will not be able to attend the PML conference in Pittsburgh in September, but if anyone is attending from City Council, let me know. We'll get you on as the voting delegate. Normally it's the mayor, but it can be somebody from any elected official from the city. If you're going, let me know, and we'll do that.
What date is that?
It's like September, I want to say 14th to the 17th.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And I'll turn it over to Mr. Campos for his report.
Mayor, I just have one question. I'm sorry, who did you meet with regarding the Mayors for Peace?
Lepoco, capital Lepoco.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Mayor, I have several items that I'm going to talk about. The first has to do with the basketball clinic, and I would like for my intern this summer, one of two interns, to give an update. I'd like to formally introduce Leo O'Boyle, who's a rising senior at Lafayette. Amongst being a good student and just a solid individual, he's also on the basketball team. He's got a real nice game, but he's been gracious enough to bring those skills.
Beautiful Euro step.
He's gracious enough to bring his skills to literally help us establish a clinic and continue our town gown relations with the college. So this week we offered a clinic for primarily Easton middle school boys and girls, and I'm going to turn it over to Leo. Just tell us a little bit about how it's going. Today was fairly, I think, an impressive day, but I want to turn it over to Leo.
So today was the second day of our camp. We're doing it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for 2 hours. It was from 1 to 3 p.m., and roughly we had about 70 kids.
That's great.
It was free for Easton residents, so got a great turnout. I think there was a fee of $40 for non-residents. And half the kids never played basketball before or went to a camp. So I think that's a testament to, I think if we give them the facilities and a good clinic and something that kids can go to have fun, then it's great for the community. And it's the first time we've done one at Lafayette's campus. So I think in the future, if we can keep that connection, it'll only get bigger and better from there on.
That's great, Leo.
Does anyone, and Mr. Edinger, thank you for the connection to Leo. You still haven't told me what your connection is, but that's all right. I get it. You want to keep it close to the vest.
A friend of a friend, that's all.
But yeah, Leo's actually, like I said, you got to keep the relationships alive. You can't take it for granted just because they're in town. I know the mayor and the mayor's introduced me to the president over there. There's a new athletic director, et cetera, that's now been appointed to be part of the cabinet. I think it's important because youth sports is so big for keeping, kids in line, so to speak. With Leo on board, it was timely, and he's actually one of his final tasks is going to be to help bridge that gap so we can work with the staff over there for years to come. So thank you, Leo, for that. Any questions for Leo? Anything else? All right. The second item on my agenda that I just wanted to give a quick update before I introduce the folks from York is the mayor and I today met with Promise Neighborhood, Dr. Hassan Batts, and a couple of his staff members, and this is an ongoing theme that stemmed from the Heritage Day Festival. Next week, we continue our meeting with the NAACP, the police department, as well as the school district to continue collaborations so we can share information and work with each other better, even though there is a lot of good that's being done in the community, but sometimes you have to literally sit in a room and talk to each other. Promise Neighborhood, the meeting was timely, and we're going to look to incorporate them in one way or another in community events. So more information to come. Councilman Brown and Councilman O'Connell, I know, and obviously the mayor have been involved in those meetings. So I'll continue to invite you. I'm limited to only bringing the three of you into those meetings, as you know. So if someone does not come to a meeting, I can open it up for anyone else that's interested. And certainly I can talk to each of the individual council members to inform you what's going on. Ms. Sultana, I know your name was brought up. I think you know the folks over there. So I'll be reaching out to you or anyone so we can all work on this together in one way or another. Don't feel left out. It has nothing to do with that. We need everyone on board. The last thing I want to introduce the Pedals for Peace organization to council under my report. I'm going to give the floor to Brant Kingsley, who we met with last week through Hearst Publishing, in particular Lou Mizante, who heads Bicycling Magazine over there. The reason why we met for Pedals for Peace, well, many reasons, but one of them specifically is because they target a urban extreme sport demographic, and it's that is the label. It's a urban extreme sport demographic, and in other words, it happens to be the kids who are riding their bikes in our garage. But don't sugarcoat it. I mean, don't lose sight from that to what they really are. And these are extreme sport athletes, and my eyes were opened up to that. And I think the mayor was. So Pedals for Peace has graciously come in to assist the city and work with these kids. And they were here one night, and they met with a group of about 20 to 30 of them. And I could say, at least from last night, it was a success, to the point where they discussed, hey, we want to work on something bigger, better, but it's not good to violate traffic laws. It's not good to do things that are inappropriate. But at the same time, we can highlight your skills, and we can work with you on having special events, so to speak. So, Brent, I'm going to call you up, if you don't mind taking the podium up here. And Lou, Mazzante too, maybe if you're in the wings, if you wouldn't mind saying something afterwards. I want to put him on the spot, but he doesn't have to, just because he's from Hearst. But
Yeah, well,
Brent, go ahead.
good evening, everybody. I'm absolutely honored and humbled to be here with you today. And I'm the president and founder of Paddle for Peace USA, which, 4 years ago was myself and gentleman Kanai over there, call him one of my day ones. It was myself and 4 kids meeting at a McDonald's. And here we are this September 23rd, coming up on 5 years. It's myself. We have numbers of about 150. We have a bike shop, a warehouse, a US BMX section racetrack, 4 race teams. We have a middle and high school BMX team where we sent 2 kids to Grand Nationals last year. And our mountain bike team did absolutely phenomenal as well. And that's how I met this great gentleman, Lewis, here from Hertz. And I read in a book one time, he said, Napoleon Hill said, whatever the mind of man conceives and believes it can achieve. And when I seen kids from my city, where if some of you are aware of York City, we're still dealing with a lot of gun violence. And I seen these kids coming up through one of the busiest streets in our city doing these wheelies, the same joy that I seen on their faces how I feel when I'm mountain biking. And what I found out is that a lot of these youth that are riding these bikes, these mountain bikes that they're doing these wheelies on, have never been in the mountains. A lot of them have never been out of their city. Some of them don't even leave the side of town that they're in association with. So what we did, instead of telling them what they can't do, we incentivized the better behavior through experiences. And this is what we can do if you behave in a certain way, right? And that transpired into, we started our first ride. It's called the Ride Against Violence, Pedal for Peace in New York, where we had about 170 people come out. We had a judge come out. We had some people come out from council from all over the place. But there was a family in town from Florida when the shooting had happened in Orlando with the LGBTQ club. And next thing you know, by November 25th, we had organized organizations from Maine down to Florida, including Texas, Nevada, and Arizona, to all ride at peace at 12 a.m. that day. So we packed kids in a truck. We drove down to Tampa, Florida. We rode with Tampa Critical Mass for that ride. We collected all the pictures, and we see that Saturday morning, Burundi, Africa posts Latour de Burundi hashtag Pedal for Peace. And we're like, what? This is like our hashtag, and it's the number 4 for a reason, and that's, we deal with a lot of gang violence. So that 4, it's a compass to insinuate bringing all the sides of town together. And so we reached out to them, and they said to me, we've been following you for the last 90 days. We love what you're doing. There's a genocide here. The president's asked for you to come. This is a little guy, I ride the bike, guys. I would have never thought in my life. Next thing you know, they literally expedited all of my stuff. The colonel of their military met me in Kigali, Rwanda, to bring me into Burundi. And next thing you know, I'm crying, riding with the president of Burundi for about 15 miles, stayed in his hotel. I got to tour through the country. I got home. I got called up to United Nations. Went to 2 global leadership youth summits, sit on the youth delegation. I've been in 11 countries, 3 continents with my bike. It's from a bike. An inner city guy with some of these youth right here that started from me. And that goes to show that literally whatever the mind of man conceives and believes it can achieve. If I would have never been able to experience so many things, how could I have ever conceived it? And opening up these youth's mind to the things that can be achieved through bikes has been absolutely amazing. So what we've done with our programming is we use bikes as kind of like our gateway. We filter them in with the bike, right? Then we introduce them to tools, and we take them through a junior mechanics curriculum. And we teach them how to fix everything down to if they have the strength for pulling a crank out of the bike, and then we can put it all together. Each of these guys sitting here right now can do everything from a brake system to changing tires to basically I can hand them a frame and they can put a bike together if they have the strength to use what's called a crank tool to pull the crank out, right? So we did that, and it was an awesome experience. But what I started to discover is some of these youth are really phenomenal athletes, but they're not your baseball, football, basketball, soccer athletes. They ride bikes. So what we did is we contacted some different organizations. We reached out, and what we found is that these athletes are willing to be super, super bendable and flexible to things that they've never experienced in their life. And I'm only running that huge tangent because yesterday when we landed in Easton, we never thought that we were going to find this huge group of riders. We were riding around in the truck looking for them. I was literally stopping at places and asking them where the hood was. Not to be cliche, but seriously, like, where are these guys, right? So they printed directions for me, like, go to South Side, go to 8th Street. So we're riding, where are we guys? Riding around in the truck, we're looking for these guys. So we come back to the parking garage where I'm hearing they're riding at, and we're getting our bikes out. I'm like, we'll just ride and find them. And we see all these guys coming down the hill meeting at the Wawa. So we started screaming to them. We came down out of the garage. We met with them. And we got to ride around and introduce ourselves. And that brings me to this point. Easton is incredible. Mayor, after we met with you earlier, we met with all those guys. We rode down the trail to the skills park that you have. And then they rode us back through the city over to, I'm not familiar with the creek, but I guess it's where everybody gets in the water and stuff like that. And it was just an absolutely amazing experience. And what I seen is these youth here, it's not that they're necessarily, it's problematic with them in traffic. And I understand it. It was something we battled in York heavily until we got it under control. But they're eager for structure. And I think that that's a point that is so valid. It's not that they want to be a nuisance to things. Their questions, when I talked to them last night and even today, is where are we allowed to ride? We're not allowed to be in the sidewalks. We're not allowed to be in the streets. So where can we go? You know, we're riding in a parking garage, but they don't want us in a parking garage out of traffic. We want to do certain things, but we don't have the ability or the transportation to get to those things. And I think that that is a huge opportunity for the city of Easton because it's, first of all, the city is beautiful. I never got to really be here. So, you know, when you get to ride on a bike, you get to experience things a little bit more than driving in a car. So, you know, we're driving past the buses where people are floating down the river in tubes. And these are some of the things that we do. We take these guys kayaking and everything. You know, we got guys that couldn't swim before that are swimming now, even today. Well, Jose was ecstatic because, you know, he was jumping into the water and previously he couldn't swim and now he can swim. And I think it's these small wins that are huge life experiences that have not only helped the community of Easton, but it'll help these guys become leaders and contributing members to your society. And these are things that can be passed down. You know, what does it cost to take a kid camping? You know, but it's a huge experience for these kids. Now you just got to find somebody like me that's awesome to take them, right? No, not gloating. But seriously, what does it really cost? Some hot dogs and some hamburgers, you know, to get them out of the urban communities that they're normally in. You know, if you decide to expand into race teams, you get to hold these guys accountable like any other varsity sport. These guys, everybody sitting here right now, either races BMX or races mountain bike with us, right? And they come from the bike life. They were out doing the wheelies and everything with these guys. But we weight those sports. There can be no C+ and better grades, no truancy issues, no discipline issues. And it really becomes a brotherhood and everybody mutually holds each other accountable because nobody wants to relinquish these things are developing. And I just want to say that, Easton, I think you have a really great opportunity to affect these youth in a super positive way with just a minute level of structure implemented. You know, they're eager to learn. They're eager to listen. It just takes the right thing that says, and we had said it in the meeting a little earlier, but everybody loves to be able to have a place called home, you know? And right now you have a group of athletes that have no home. You know, it's like a basketball team not having a court to play at, or a football team not having a field to play. You just have a group of athletes right now, and if we may call them that, because that's what they are. I mean, people are riding bikes in the Olympics now. You know, there's college scholarships that are available for mountain bike racing. You know, so these guys are athletes that just have no structure currently. And I think it's an incredible opportunity to not only pull them out of the street, to take them out of pedestrians' way, but to also encourage these youth to be better today than they were yesterday and to be better tomorrow than they are today. And I am Pedal for Peace. We believe in people regardless of race, religion, sex, or creed. We believe that through bikes and bike activities, we can inspire peace and bring development in communities. And Easton, you have an awesome opportunity right now to be able to do that. And I hope that I get to help, and I hope I get to bring more guys up. And it's been an incredible experience. And thank you, Lou. Thank you, Louis. Thank you, Mayor, for meeting with us and having the conference calls and meeting with me last week. And I'm pretty ecstatic because the day I had honestly, as a grown man, sometimes these guys think that, you know, we're riding bikes for them. But some days it's nice to get stressed as an adult, to just have a stress-free moment. And today I can truly say I had that. We got to ride something new. We got to meet a whole lot of guys. Today there was more today than even yesterday. And a guy named Tato had come down from Bethlehem, who they considered like the big influencer of bikes in this area. So when I come into an area, that's who I'm after. I'm like, who do these kids want to be like? Who's the guy doing all the big wheelies and the stunts that we need to be talking to communicate what's good and what's not? And it was an absolutely incredible day. I jumped in the creek and somehow made it to the hotel. We all got changed and got back here today. So I want to say thank you all so much for your time. You just have an incredible opportunity that you shouldn't miss. Discipline you without discipline is like a city with no walls, right? So it's important that these youth have discipline, but it's even more important that we encourage them to be better, And the way to encourage them to be better is to reel them in through exactly, people tell you how they want to be sold, Take their bikes away from them, then what are these guys going to be doing? It's potentially, they could be doing worse things out here on the street. But if you use that bike as the exact tool to reel them in, it's amazing what they can achieve. And I just want to say thank you so much for your time.
We want to thank you. To share your experiences and your organizational skills that you have in York with us is very important. And we'll just keep expanding it, like you said. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, sir.
And I see we have our Bike Works queen here.
Bike Works
and,
queen.
She's doing a great job out.
It was bicycle night tonight.
How about it? But, as I told you yesterday at our first meeting, I was the bike club advisor, and I used to go on bike hikes every weekend with kids. Bikes are a socialization tool that you can use. And as a poor kid growing up on the South Side, I remember going on bike hikes up over Morgan Hill and into the country and getting out of the city. And then when I was a teacher, I did the same thing with those kids. And I think it's important that we thank you publicly, as we are, because we're being live streamed. You've brought a sense of enthusiasm as well as experience to our city. We really appreciate it. And to bring the young men with you today for the next couple days. You're here one more day.
Yes, sir. Yeah, one more day.
And to reach out to those kids and go down our skills course, et cetera, and swim in our Bushkill Creek is really good.
It was a great time. It really was.
If I could, I'd like to add what the mayor also said. First of all, thank you. One of the things that I truly believe in is that as an adult, we have a tendency to shout out, what I call shout out. And what I mean by that, we're so busy talking over the youth that we can't hear what they want. And this is a great opportunity to hear what they want, because if we meet them where their needs are,
yes, sir, and
you train them, then they train the next youth.
Yes, sir.
And this is just a cycle that we have to get back on, and not to use a cliche, but something that we really need to propel forward. And again, I thank you, but most of all, I thank each one of you young men for doing what you're doing.
Yes, sir. They say train a child the way they should go. When they grow older, they'll go that way.
You got it.
Right. Yes, sir.
Well,
Don't fear the ride.
Yeah, I want to thank you too. I actually went into this group on National Night Out. Do you remember me, guys? Right? And we talked about their talent and who has like golden skills or golden tricks, some kind of. Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, we had a really good conversation. And I had, I was thinking the same way. I was like, they need some kind of things to keep you busy. And I reached out to some of the community organizers who really want to work on this kind of project that you brought in. And I think that would be great for all those, little kids who, ride their bikes all the time. I see them all the time outside of the Wawa, doing their...
Where they took me today where I found out you can get free water. I was like, wow.
Thank you so much for your work. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you all.
Thank you. Lou. Why don't you introduce yourself to council members who may not know you?
Hi, everyone. I'm Louis Mazzanti. I wear a couple hats. I work for Bicycling and Hearst Publications right across the street.
Could you just spell
here.
your last name, please?
Mazzanti, Mazzanti.
Thank you very
Rita,
much.
it'll be under my report still. So I'll submit that to you.
Thank you.
Yep.
I am also a founder of the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Cycling League, which is a youth development organization that uses bikes to connect with kids and teach them lifelong lessons and give them experiences. It's how I met Brant. I'm also the president of the Valley Mountain Bikers, which is a nonprofit organization in Lehigh Valley that stewards, maintains, and builds mountain bike and multi-use trails in the region. In that capacity, I've been working with Dave Hopkins in the city already and some bike park plans. So there's a lot of really exciting, interesting things happening around cycling in the city. My involvement here, and I reached out to Lewis, and I really wanted to take a step back just to thank Lewis and the mayor and the police chief for listening to us, to bringing in Brant to enlarge this conversation about how the city of Easton, which has been very pro-bike, can continue that and support these riders. I've seen it through my experiences in many of my roles, how bicycles can lift kids up and can lift up the communities who are supporting them too. And so we saw a real opportunity here with this bike life culture that is really starting to grow and flourish, bring good and also challenges with it here in the city, to be able to get in front of it, to bring in leaders like Brant to share his experiences in his program with the city, to work as a community. Listen to Kim, who has great programs in Easton already through Community Bike Works, to be very proactive to guide these students, to also understand their needs and the resources and the opportunities that we have to meet their needs, like you said, Mr. Brown, right? We're finding there are not safe spaces for them to ride. So how can we deliver those spaces? How can we guide them to teach them to practice their skills and to show, what they're capable of and have fun and still be able to experience that same joy on a bike that I did when I was a kid, riding down the hill and coming down to Easton and buying ice cream for the first time, right? To be able to have them have those experiences, to learn from each other, have their own community, and do it safely in a way that is not a disturbance to our own community, but just really enhances it and supports it. So I'm here to help. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you tonight, and really appreciative and proud of the city of Easton for being open to this and really being proactive and finding solutions to this and the opportunities here, and not doing what some other cities we've seen negatively, right, have seen this as a problem and treated it as such, and rather respecting the kids, respecting their skills, respecting that they are vibrant parts and important parts of our community too, and doing what we can to support them.
Thank you, Lou. Well said. I just want to reiterate that one of the things we're doing is we're planning a ride out that they've done down in New York, and like we used to do when Genesis Bike Shop was owned by Tomias Hinchcliffe, and they're not doing it anymore. And so I didn't tell you this yet, Brant, but when we do that night, we'll go down the towpath, we'll come back, we'll stop at the creamery, and I will make sure that I pay for the bill for everybody to get an ice cream cone. Nice. You may not be like swimming in the Bushkill Creek, but it'll be cooling. It'll be refreshing. At this point, any questions on City Council? Any questions from Mr. Councilman O'Connell or Councilman Milan?
No questions from me, Mayor.
I have no questions, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Milan. There's the correspondence. I'll accept a letter from Bishop Schlert, and there's no unfinished business. We'll go right into new business, Madam Clerk.
We have Bill number 20 being introduced by Mr. Milan, which would amend sections in Chapter 560 of the Vehicles and Traffic Code of the City of Easton.
So introduced.
We have a resolution being introduced by Mayor Pinto approving a mutual release agreement between the City of Easton, the Easton Farmers Market, and the Hanover Insurance Company.
So introduced. So moved. I'm sorry. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on this? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Ettinger?
Aye.
Mr. Milan?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mrs. Sultana?
Aye.
And Mayor Pinto.
Aye.
And we have a resolution being introduced by Mr. O'Connell, which would approve the 2022 CDBG allocations.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second. Discussion on the community development block grant allocations. We have two members of the redevelopment authority staff here. If there's any questions, they can answer them.
Nope.
And anyone from any of the community organizations that would like to say anything? Yes, Kim.
That's why I came tonight.
I know.
Yeah, so my name's Kim Schaefer. I'm Executive Director of Community Bike Works. Like I said, I didn't realize it was going to be bicycle night, but I'm glad that it is, and it's fantastic to see bicycles. And kids who ride them get so much support in the city of Easton. So I will not give my full spiel, my full 5-minute spiel that I was planning on giving, because I did talk to Mr. Campos, and he said he will have us back for a full presentation at some point in the future. And we did meet with the mayor just a few months ago to give him an update. But I did want to let everyone know that we, Community Bike Works, have been in Easton now for a full year. We've been very grateful for our reception from the city and from students and their families. The support has just been overwhelming. So at Community Bike Works, we teach life lessons through bicycles. Our flagship program is called Earn a Bike, over 24 hours of instruction. Students learn how to fix every component of a bicycle. They learn how to ride a bike safely, and while they're doing that, they learn life skills along the way, everything from teamwork, communication, to perseverance. In our first year in Easton, we engaged 111 young people in Earn a Bike and its sister program, Junior Earn a Bike. It was a fantastic experience. 97% of those students completed their program to earn their bicycle, which is really high for us and just shows the level of enthusiasm here in Easton. What is really special about Community Bike Work, and I will say that we were able to engage those number of students despite the fact that, as many of you know, we've had some setbacks on our building. We're very grateful to receive through Congresswoman Wild and Senator Casey funds to rehab the GEDP-owned building at 921 Spruce Street. That will be our home. Several of you have come out to our many celebrations that we've had there as we wait for those funds to come through. I have been in contact with HUD. That's all moving forward, and so within several months we should be ready to go. But it's because we've had such good partnership with the schools, with the community center, with just every, and we're now in the Two Rivers building at 1101. So we're very grateful to them and our other partners. Once kids are involved in Earn a Bike, that is the beginning of their time at Community Bike Works. So, we also have, daily drop-in for students where they come. Every day is a bike ride. We do have a mountain bike team. We also participate in NICA and Pickle, and so we have our Community Bike Works team. I think we'll have these guys come out tomorrow to Allentown and meet our Allentown mountain bike team and get to know those folks, so that'll be good. We were proud to lead the community ride portion of the Easton Crit. So that was a really exciting day for us. We had, I think, about 20 to 30 kids and their families and Earn a Bike staff members who got to lead the community ride on what was a special cycling day in Easton. And every week, that's actually why I don't have any Easton students with me or staff right now. Every week we are at the West Ward Market, and we lead community rides that right now are leaving at 6 o'clock every Wednesday. So we would welcome anyone to join those rides. They've been really spectacular. Today, a young girl named Hannah, actually rode her bicycle to the market to buy vegetables for her family, and she had earned that bike in Earn a Bike. So she was able to see our staff there. She's riding her bike to the market to buy vegetables and be a part of the community. So it's just really exciting. But again, I'll stop there. We will have our students come and present their story to you. We're doing just really I think important work here in the city of Easton, and we're really glad to be doing it. So in Earn a Bike, and then in all of the other ways that we're engaging kids on bikes and in leadership in their community. So we're grateful to be here, and very thankful for your support through the CDBG program. So we'll be back soon, but in the meantime, thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Kim.
Mayor, I had a question.
Go ahead, Dr.
On the CDBG grant allocation, the 108 loan, how many more years do we have with that? Do you know offhand? We should be getting real close to the end of that.
I think we have. Go ahead, Shakira.
That's good. That's good news.
By then, we'll be ready for the Choice Neighborhoods share.
Right. That's right.
So that's great just to do that, though. Okay, at this time we have public comment on any matter that coming
We have
before.
to take a vote first.
Oh, we have to take a vote? We didn't do that?
Nope.
Okay, we have to take a vote.
Mr. Ettinger?
Aye.
Mr. Milan?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mrs. Sultana?
Aye.
Mayor Pianto?
Aye.
And Mr. Brown?
Aye, thank you.
Okay, now we have public comment on any matter relating to the city of Easton. Just come up to the podium, give your name and address. Anyone?
5 minutes.
5 minutes, yes.
Hello, Sania Pender, 624 West Wilkes-Barre, Easton.
624 West Wilkes-Barre?
Yes.
And could you spell your first name?
SANIYYAH.
Thank you.
Well, I was going to speak on the bike program, but you gave such an excellent presentation and a setup for Easton, so I won't say anything about that. I had a meeting with the mayor a couple of weeks ago and talked to him and gave him some of my ideas. Pretty much touched on every single thing that I was going to say, so I won't give you any of that. But I did want to add, since our meeting, I did speak to some other people, and there are some wants for other types of programs and things for kids. My mom and a few other adults, and they do bring their kids with them, but we roller skate on Wednesday, so I actually skipped my roller skating today to come here. But we meet at the Fork Skate Park every Wednesday, and we roller skate together, and a lot of them have started bringing their kids, and their kids want to roller skate. So I'm going to meet up with kids and do kids roller skating with them. So that's another thing that could be beneficial for, the skaters who are, the people who are not biking, to do something else. There's a lot of skateboarders that are there. When we're there, we started hanging out with them, and it's really fun. And we do it every Wednesday between 6:30 and 8:30. So that's been really cool. Something just so everyone else is aware, what I suggested to the mayor is everyone knows that, for my business, I tie-dye, and a lot of kids like to do that. And I want to tie-dye with the kids in the park, during Live at the Falls, or going to the different parks, going to the Boys and Girls Club or wherever, different parts of the week, and doing it once, twice, 3 times a month, and letting people come and just tie-dye together. A lot of people like to do that, and it's something fun, and again, keeps them out of trouble and keeps them doing what they need to do. A lot of these things can be incentivized. A lot of people don't realize that it was passed, I don't know if it was a year ago, 2 years ago, or whatever, where the kids can own, under 18, can own their own business as long as they don't make more than $10,000 a year, and, blah, 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 blah. A lot of kids don't know that. And a lot of kids like to make money. So, I talk to a lot of, I know a lot of these business owners down here. A lot of them are willing to set up some type of, entrepreneurship, camp type of thing for younger kids who are not necessarily ready to get an actual job, but kind of figure out what that job may be when they can go and get a job. So whether they go and, hang out with someone at the restaurant, or, they go to the thrift shop and learn what they do. A lot of kids would be really into that. I started doing lemonade with my son. He's 4, and I don't know if it's because he's cute or not, but it works for him. He's selling his lemonade. And what I did was an I-bond, which I know a lot of you finance people know what an I-bond is, but at $25, you can get an electronic I-bond for, yourself or for a kid. They, earn value interest for 30 years. So by the time, my son is 4 now, by the time he's 34, he could own property, he can, do whatever with that money, you know what I mean? So I think those are really good ideas for our youth in the community. A lot of the youth want to do a lot of things. They just need, the support to do so. So, and a lot of their parents can't do so because they're working. So that's all I've got.
We will be contacting you. We talked about it with staff. We probably won't do it as part of the Live at the Falls, but as a separate tie-dyeing
whenever.
camp, just like we did with the basketball clinic, something like that, so the kids can come in at their own time. Live at the Falls is every Thursday night. This might be something we'll do as part of our summer playground program, which we just brought back this year.
Right. Okay, cool. All righty.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I'm going roller skate.
Okay. Anyone else like to address the council? Seeing none, any council member have any comments, questions, or concerns? Any additional business? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mrs. Sultana?
Aye.
Mayor Pianto?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Ettinger?
Aye.
And Mr. Milan?
Aye.
Thank you all. Have a great evening, and especially Brant, thank you very much. Have safe travels back to York tomorrow rather.
Good night, everyone.
Next week.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
You are currently the only person in this conference.